All right, David, we are about ready to get started. Everybody, welcome to Kitchen Talk Live. I am really excited. I know I feel like I say that all the time, but I have one of the people that I love in this world, David Whitson, with us today. And he actually went to college with me back in the dark ages. I don't know. We're not that old, right, David? We're not that old.
It was it was over 25 years ago. So yeah.
I'm not that old. I'm
Okay.
just saying. No, I'm just kidding. But we went to Dallas Baptist University together, and that was a lot of fun. And his wife, Jennifer, and I actually went to high school together, and I still keep up with her. And we have a great time. And she is very near and dear to my heart because he has a fabulous wife. So, Jennifer, if you're watching, hey. But everybody, David has an amazing story today of triumph, of overcoming obstacles, and just of a victory. And I love his story. I remember when all these things were going on. So I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it, David. But you have really had so many opportunities that have come out of a difficult situation to really get out there and make a difference in the world. So I am excited to have you with us today, and welcome to Kitchen Talk Live.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy for this opportunity to share my story a little bit, maybe get some more people to sign up and give back the gift of life that I've been given.
Absolutely. Well, David, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your story and how you came to partner up with this organization.
So I'm a married father of two. As you mentioned, my wife, Jennifer, who was a godsend when I was sick. And in 2016, I was diagnosed with leukemia. And a little bit about that story was I started feeling ill right around the time of my birthday in late August of 2016. And just didn't feel good, had a headache. It turned into, swollen lymph nodes, fever. Nobody could tell me what was wrong. And they kept saying, I had the flu, but even though I was flu negative. And I finally went to a local emergency room after about being sick for about a week. And I told the doctor, I was like, something seriously wrong. And he did a CT scan and he said, hey, I think you have lymphoma or leukemia, which both are blood cancers. And it turned out I had leukemia. Later, I found out it was acute myeloid leukemia, which is a pretty bad leukemia. If there's a good one, it's AML. And then later I found out I had like a really, really bad one. And I, in my opinion, I was pretty much told I was going to die unless everything went perfect. The goal was to treat me with chemo, and I had radiation, but I also had a bone marrow stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor, who now I know her name's Allie Reimold, and she and all the doctors gave me a second chance at life and really did save my life.
Absolutely. And that's what we're talking about today. That organization that you went through that was able to match you with your donor is called DKMS, which I know we have the logo on the screen. Tell us a little bit about that organization. Tell us a little bit about the process, and tell us a little bit about, I'm going completely blank. I don't know why. You know me, I talk all the time, but tell me a little bit about your involvement with them.
So there's a couple of organizations that I volunteer with, and DKMS is one of them. And basically, they're an organization that registers people to sign up on the National Bone Marrow Program. So there's several organizations, and you simply sign up with a cheek swab. You fill out your information, they'll mail you a kit, and you swab your cheek, you mail it back to them, and then you're put on the National Bone Marrow Registry. So if you've registered with Be the Match, then your information they've already registered will go on the registry. If you register with DKMS, it goes on the same program.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's it. It's just a simple cheek swab.
Nice, nice. Now, what are some of the criteria? Are there age requirements around that? Is there gender? Is there any type of medical requirements that would say that maybe people are not eligible? Or what are some of the physical characteristics or eligibility that we need to make sure that people keep in mind whenever they're looking to maybe possibly get on the donors list?
So with DKMS, you have to be between 18 and 55, and it's a complete free registration. And I kind of talked about the process already. You just swab your cheek. We really need, believe it or not, we need a lot of minorities on the registry because almost everybody in Europe, DKMS is a German organization that has set up shop here also in the United States. And I cannot pronounce what DKMS stands for.
German term. I was wondering about that, actually.
It would just sound like I don't know how to speak German. So basically, the founder of DKMS, his wife died of a blood cancer, and so he is an amazing person, and then started this chapter in Germany. I would say a lot of Americans have been saved by this organization from Germany and other places in Europe. So, you 18 to 44, you have to be in general health. There are some medical conditions that will exclude you. I think like, having some cancers, sleep apnea. I don't think you can actually donate bone marrow, but you can still donate stem cells. Okay. And if I could, I'll talk about the different processes. So donating stem cells is similar to donating blood. It's more like donating platelets where, they put that IV in one arm, they run your blood through a machine, and then they put the rest of your blood back in your arm, and they spin out the actual bone marrow stem cells. And it looks similar to a bag of blood. And then in my instance, they just put the IV of the stem cells in my body. And the way my doctor explained it to me is like those stem cells, they had killed all my bone marrow, and they put those stem cells in my arm, and they're like, the doctor said, they're like seeds, and they know where to go inside your bones, and then they plant, and then they grow, and then they make your new blood. And that's exactly what happened for me. I went from B positive blood to O negative blood.
Oh, wow. It actually changed your blood type?
I changed my blood type. And if you look at my blood under a microscope, it's actually female blood.
Wow. So now your body is, because our bodies constantly create new blood, right? So therefore, your body actually changed with this procedure, the type of blood and even the gender of your blood specifically.
It did. And it's, it's unusual. But yes, it did. And I'm not allowed to make any jokes today, so I'm not going to do that. But it was funny one day. I was actually, the day I met Allie, my donor, we were talking. I was like, yeah, I'm O positive now, and no, I'm O negative. And she was like, I'm O negative, and I was like, well, I know your blood type because my body makes your blood.
Wow.
So it's crazy, isn't it? And
that is.
And so back to the stem cells and back to the actual donating bone marrow. Almost, I would say about 75% of the cases are actually taken that in that way I described, the peripheral stem cell transplant, where they actually take the stem cells. And in about 25% of the cases, they will take bone marrow. You're kind of put asleep. They extract your bone marrow. Yeah, you might be sore for a few days, but technology's got so much better. It really doesn't hurt. You might feel uncomfortable for a couple of days, but just giving somebody that chance of life, I think, is worth that uncomfortable. Sometimes when you donate stem cells, you might feel like you had the flu. But my donor, I believe it or not, I guess I have a real common DNA. She's actually donated twice, which is super rare for people to do.
Wow.
And one other factor, so we talked about who do we need. So a lot of people sign up in Germany and they sign up at an earlier age. Here in Texas, or in the United States, you have to be 18 to 55. We really need minorities on the registry. If you're mixed race, it's really, really important that we have you sign up because you're going to match somebody of your ethnicity. There's not enough African Americans on the registry. And, with today's environment, well, that's some way we can really, save people. And we can all, it doesn't matter your political party, nothing. Nobody deserves to wait in a hospital bed waiting to die.
Right.
And if I could advocate that and educate people of that, because 4 years ago, I knew nothing about this process. I was just a normal guy living my life. And unfortunately, I didn't know enough. But minorities, Asians, South Asians, Black, Latin, a lot of the countries just don't have the charitable resources that we have here in the United States. Africa being one.
Yeah.
There's just not very many countries that are aware of this program.
So if there are if we donate here in the States, right? If we donate here in Texas or in the States, is our donation eligible to go anywhere in the world to be able to save somebody, or is it specific location?
No, it could be anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, Brazil has a pretty good Latin registry. So they send a lot here. We send a lot there, vice versa, Germany, England. It could go anywhere. And there's DKMS. They fund all of this. I know people that are couriers for the organization, and they donate their time to travel and bring the bone marrow or stem cells. And 9/11, which was not too long ago this month. And 19 years ago, those planes landed in Halifax, and those donors had to get on cars and drive because they do have a limited shelf life. So, yeah, it's something that you don't really think about. It's really, you're kind of performing an organ transplant for somebody that they time everything perfect to where if they started that real high dose chemo that I received, and then I didn't get my stem cells at that time that I'm supposed to get them, it could really mess you up and make the transplant not successful. Yeah, it's all real time.
So that's a really good question. You mentioned the volunteers and the organization and how they have so many different moving parts and everything. So if somebody did donate, would their insurance pay for that process? Would DKMS pay for that process?
DKMS pays for it all. They do it through donations. They do it through drives. A lot of people, the people that can't donate, they can donate money to the organization, which every charity needs that. And I can tell you from experience that, it goes to helping others,
Yeah.
So,
So what if somebody does donate, or somebody gets on the registry, what are the odds generally of being picked to be able to be a donor?
So the odds are about 1 in 430 to get picked. Wow. There's people that have been on the registry for years and years and years. Younger cells tend to work better for people, but I mean, if you're the only match, you're the only match. And I've met several people. They're like, I had one match. Wow. And the worst though is when somebody only has one match, and the person says, I really don't want to do this anymore. I'm scared. So you got to be really, in my opinion, I'd rather have somebody sign up and knows, hey, if I get that call, I'm really willing to give somebody a chance to save their life. I don't want to give them a false hope. I mean, not all the transplants work, but you're giving somebody a chance.
Yeah.
And I got a really great relationship with Allie. I mean, I keep in touch with her. As some people might know this, that are on I'm a pilot, and I put her on my past travel, so she can travel like my family. And she's gone on
the same blood, right? She is.
Yeah, she's a blood relative now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
absolutely. So what is I know you mentioned that if somebody donates, it's kind of like maybe possibly getting a little bit of the flu, but other than that, a lot of people don't generally have a lot of side effects. Are there any long-term effects to the donor specifically if they do donate, as far as like any long-term issues or anything?
I mean, not that I'm aware of. I'm not a doctor, so with any medical procedure, I've heard them say that there is some risk, but for the most part, it's pretty rare. I mean, when you get the bone marrow drawn, you're going to be sore for a couple of days, but if you've ever had general anesthesia and you're in good health, you're probably going to be okay. In most cases, donating the peripheral way, you sit in a bed, you watch some Netflix, they give you 2 IVs. So, I mean, look, close your eyes, get poked, and then watch your favorite movie. And then to me, that's just so easy in being able to save somebody's life.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, David, if somebody did want to be able to get more information about this process and get on the list and get on the donor list and maybe be, and get tested, how would they get information about how to be able to do that?
So the easiest way is just go to dkms.org. They have a great website. They can answer any questions that you might have. And you just fill out the information and they'll mail you a kit. Now they're doing a program due to COVID. It's called 10 for 10. They'll actually send 10 kits out to you and you help to register 10 more people. And it was kind of interesting. I learned earlier this month that 2 of the drives that I've attended, 2 donors were able to sign up. So that's pretty cool to have a small hand in giving back, and that's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. So, David, tell us a little bit about where you are with your health now because of this procedure and kind of what you're doing. Are you flying again? How are you kind of living your life at this point?
So I was able to go back to flying in October of 2018. And up until March of this year, I flew as much as I could. I was making up for a little bit of lost income. I missed my job. Had a kid going off to college. So, it was great. And then March with COVID, I've been taking a reduced paid leave, not only to help save the airline money, but I do have one of those compromised immune systems per se. So I was trying to just be safe and not catch the COVID because I just didn't know how my body would react. But I'm doing great. I have been since July. I maybe put on some COVID pounds a little bit, but in between March and July. But now I've been walking between 4 and 8 miles a day with my dog. He's my best buddy. I did 4 miles this morning. I'll probably do 4 miles tonight. So that's good. I've lost a little bit of weight and put on some muscle, and I'm doing really great.
That's awesome.
Considering where I've been, I couldn't walk 5 steps to the bathroom 4 years ago at this time. So it's just a real miracle for me. I'm very blessed. My priorities in life have changed. I view life a lot different than I did before. I like to say that every day is a gift, and sometimes it's hard for us Americans to realize that. We have a lot of first world problems here in this country.
Right. And, sometimes I hear people go, oh, first world problems. Right. But the reality is when you go through a situation like that, it really does change your perspective on so many different things. And I'm really, really grateful that you are taking your time to be able to devote to organizations that do so many wonderful things. And I want to be able to make sure that I also bring up the fact that we had also mentioned kind of in passing during this Facebook Live, but people can also donate financially. So even if for any reason they are not able to be on the donor list, or maybe they just don't choose to because of whatever reason, or if they have underlying health issues, then that is definitely an option, is for them to be able to support in other ways. And by being able to go to that DKMS.org, they can go ahead and tap into lots of different ways to be able to donate. So I want to make sure that our listeners get the opportunity to hear that as well.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that opportunity to give back.
Absolutely. Well, David, I'm going to give you a big virtual high five. I really appreciate you joining us today. And I hope this is not the last time we're going to be able to talk to you, because I would love to periodically bring you back on, talk to you about what this organization's doing and ways in which people can go ahead and support the local movement in that direction. So I really appreciate your time today.
Well, Teresa, I appreciate you doing this, and I'm available anytime you need me.
Fabulous. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching Kitchen Talk Live. My name is Teresa Kitchens. I know it's so revolutionary, but we, every single Thursday at 2:00, we try to highlight a local business or organization that is really doing wonderful things in the area, because that's where our heart is. We're here to be able to serve our community. And we thank you so much for watching today. Please make sure that you share this Facebook Live, because guys, this is a really, really important message that we want to make sure that we support and help to get out there. Everybody, have a really great day.